Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I'm going to talk to you about validator node licenses and how I'm using mine to acquire more SPS. If you're interested in acquiring a big bag of SPS at this 2 cent sort of price range, if you're optimistic about the future of Splinterlands, you might be interested in sticking around for this one because I'm talking about getting a big bag, a huge addition to my Splinterlands SPS bag. Before we get into that, I just want to give a special thanks to the sponsor of the video, which is SplinterCoach. If you don't know about them, they are a website that will track your personalized data for your Splinterlands account, showing you how many wins you're getting, how many losses, when you're winning, and with which monsters, what monsters and summoners partner amazingly well together. And there's so much more here. The data is amazing and personalized, which makes it allows me to recognize my own errors and grow from that, but also just to have fun looking at the data. This is entertaining and useful. So I hope you'll check out SplinterCoach, and just thank you very much to SplinterCoach for sponsoring the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dwayne Cunningham though. Infidel1258 is the account and you can call me 12. Leave comments below, and if they turn into videos, I'll give you a thank you. Might turn into a free plot of land for you. So be sure to comment. Okay, so validator node licenses. I have 3 of them. I bought them during tranche 1. And if you're maybe newer to Splinterlands, or you just don't remember validator node licenses when they launched, how much they cost, any of those sorts of details, we're going to get into that because I'm talking about selling 2 or even maybe all of them, because I just think there's an real interesting opportunity right now. And I'm going to unpack what I would be doing and how I would be doing it. I'm going to talk to you about the entry point cost that for what I paid for these things, and ultimately what would be an exit sort of opportunity, meaning what sort of profits can I take from it. But I've talked to you before about how sometimes taking an L on a trade, like locking in a loss, you bought it for more US dollars, you sell it for less. Is that always a terrible idea? I think no, the answer is no. Sometimes it actually makes a lot of sense. And I think you're going to see with validator node licenses an example of what I mean. I bought these node licenses according to, well, first of all, I had to look it up. I had to see, using Newsfile, I found that Splinterlands sells out validator node pre-sale in 11 minutes on May 26, 2022. So that's when it happened. I had forgotten the date, but literally a year ago. You know, it's May 12th today. That's a year ago that the pre-sales took place. I was one of the people that tried to get in the pre-sale and wasn't able to. So we can see what the pre-sale prices were. They were, I think, $2,000, but then half of that was essentially payable with vouchers. You paid 500 vouchers and they were attributing $500 to you for those, sorry, $1,000 for those vouchers. And then when that was over, literally within 11 minutes, we moved into tranche 1, which is where I was able to eventually accumulate my 3 validator nodes. Look at the price of $3,000 per validator node. And with a market listing price of, like, you know, you're talking 2100 to 2500 hive, it's in that 800 to 900 price range. You think on one hand, like, why would one sell in this context? I think if you look superficially, the answer is clearly don't sell. It's way too low. One day in the future, it'll be more expensive. Wait till it appreciates and then sell. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm willing to do that in most cases. But here's why I'm not in for these licenses. Again, tranche 1 is where I bought mine, meaning they cost $3,000 per. There was only 3,000 of them sold, and with $3,000 price, the $3,000 price point, they were allocating a $3 voucher discount per, and you're allowed to pay up to half of the price in vouchers. Now, my vouchers are essentially free. Like, I received those vouchers through just owning other assets in the game, and I continue to have more vouchers than I need. So I'm not even going to count the voucher price in the calculation of what I paid, because I don't need them. I got them for free. It was just part of what I earned for my time and attention within Splinterlands. So there's a $1,500 price tag on each of my 3 validator node licenses. So $1,500 paid in SPS. Okay, how many SPS units was that? Because again, we're talking late May 2022. Well, we open up live coin, we're gonna find that May 26th, where is it? Right, literally just before the node licenses launched, there was a pump on May 23rd and May 25th, all the way up to 11 cents, 10.9 cents. Can you imagine SPS right now at 10.9 cents? I mean, if we just soared up there, I bet there'd be a massive liquidation. Just people would be dumping. Like it'd be a 5x. It'd be more than a 5x, almost a 6x. And so at this moment in time, doesn't 10 or 11 cents sound ridiculously juicy? And that's when those node licenses were being sold. So people were spending SPS actually it's right here. 26th. So it was actually just under 10 cents. So let's call it 10 cents. But then again, I don't know if I bought mine on the 28th or if I bought mine over here. I definitely bought it in the first few days. So it's between 10 and 8 cents that I paid for my node licenses. So we can figure out how many SPS I spent, because one, I want to know how many SPS, not how many dollars I spent, but how many SPS, because today I could trade the validator node license for $900 worth of SPS. And the question is, am I going to put more SPS into my pocket? I think it's going to be a resounding yes, because of the dip in price on SPS. So let's say I got like an 8.5 cent SPS, because that I did buy within the first week. And again, we were theoretically spending $1,500. So what we want to do is pull up the calculator, and $1,500 US is what we needed to pay Splinterlands. We need to divide that by 0.085, which is the US dollar value of each SPS. So how many SPS did we give? This is how many. We paid 17,650 SPS to get that, plus whatever vouchers, but again, I don't care about those, to get those validator node licenses. I mean, it sounds like a huge amount of SPS, but I'm telling you, maybe you'd be shocked. Actually, I was kind of shocked. If we look at what the price point is today, the Hive Engine license they're selling, according to this last price sold $893. That's for 2482 Hive. That was an ask. So I would have to post for that price and wait for somebody to buy it from me, and that may or may not sell. But here's the interesting thing: I've got two purchases at 2220. This is actually, these just popped up this second. Like I'm fully taking these, like 100%. Like before I started the video, these two, 2120, were the highest bids. 2220 is the high bid, so that I can take that right this second. So what does that equate to? We go 2220, and we go times 0.35, I think it is, for the Hive price. 35.8 cents for the Hive. So this is going to be the US dollar value of that sales, $800, $795. And then we divide that by current price of SPS, 2 cents, literally 2 cents. We're talking 39,738 SPS, as opposed to the 17,000 that I previously received. Not to mention I've earned SPS while holding this thing for the last year. So yes, please, I am absolutely going to sell that. I want more SPS. I'm convinced I need more SPS. I don't want to get rid of the validator node licenses, but here's the thing. SPS is crucial to my ongoing operation, not just playing the game, extracting reward while I play the game, but also allocating to those I want to. Plus, I think future price appreciation. Lastly, I get a vote, an increased power of my vote, all of which is deeply important to me, because I actually care what happens with our proposals. I actually care with I want to be part of the governance of this game and the future direction of where it's heading. And we're just going to refresh just in case there's been a new price. No, we're just going to go ahead and fill that. I'm going to fill both of them. There, I have two licenses to sell. I'm selling them both. Boom, 4,400 Hive. Thank you very much. I could have waited. I could have listed for 2,500 and waited and seen. And in some sense, maybe that would have been really prudent. But again, when I show you that math and I say I put 17,000 SPS into those things, and I can extract right now for 40,000 SPS, you have to understand that I don't care if I could get, do care and I don't care. I mean, if I was able to get 2 more 100 Hive, that'd be another, I think it's $80. And $80 is no joke. I mean, $80 divided by, it actually would have been $80 per $160 divided by 0.2. I mean, that was another 8,000 SPS, but I just pocketed, essentially I pocketed 80,000 SPS, or a profit. I'm profiting 45,000 SPS. My bag has grown substantially over what it was at that moment because of this decision. Now, the US dollar value has fallen. But like I said earlier, sometimes you take an L and yet it moves you into a new position that you prefer that is really, in some sense, a W, like a win. Like I think of adding more SPS to my bag as an absolute win. Do I wish I could keep my licenses? Yes. I can't do everything though. And with SPS, what I find with SPS itself is it's so liquid. I think it has a higher future. I think it probably is going to go lower in the future, in the near future. I think, as I pointed out in a previous video, I think we could see, a penny eventually. That's going to be half of its value from where it is now. And maybe I will sell more things at that time because I want a dollar cost average into a bigger bag. But today I more than doubled my SPS from a licensed trade for a product that I wish I could keep, but moving into a thing I feel so confident about long term, and that I also feel has tons of utility, both from my play, being able to enter certain tournaments, being able to extract maximum rewards for my time and attention while battling, allowing me to delegate to people so that they can play, and then eventually, ultimately, controlling my governance vote, increasing the power of that governance vote, and then ultimately having an opportunity to exit through a liquidity, like a massive liquidity. Splinterlands cards are great. The validator no licenses are going to be relatively liquid, but you know what's going to be even more liquid? It's going to be SPS. So at one point in the future, when this game really reaches somewhere where I think it's time to really start taking some off the table, SPS is going to be one of those tokens that I'm going to be looking to move. And I'm going to find, I think we'll find, that's going to be one of the exit points through which there'll be the maximum amount of liquidity, allowing you to retain most of your value without seeing a bunch of slippage when you go to move out. Whereas if you had 1,000 or 20,000 Gargoyle Lions, even if they do moon, the problem is how are you selling them all? But with SPS, that problem doesn't exist. And so I hope this was interesting to you. I'm not bearish on licenses. This is me being bullish on SPS. And I hope that makes sense to you guys. But just thank you so much for your time and attention. And again, special thanks to Splintercoach. Guys, check them out. I'm having a lot of fun just navigating in that data. And it's really opening my eyes to certain partnerships that are helping me win. I'm going to do a devoted video to show how that data is kind of making me recognize new cool things. But that'll be later for this week. Thanks a lot, guys. Have an amazing day. God bless.